Hello, young lords, viewers. I am going to talk about the romantic poetry. The romantic poetry occupies tremendous importance in the history of English poetry. In the first half of the 19th century, there were many poets who moved from town life to countryside, village life. They composed poetry in reaction against the neoclassical poetry. The neoclassicists were bound by rules, laws, decorum, diction, and rules of heroic couplet. But the romanticists reacted against this kind of poetry, and the romanticists gave new kind of poetry to English literature. The romanticists gave call to return to nature, to return to countryside, to return to the rural areas in place of the urbanities. William Wordsworth was the leader of this group of poets. William Wordsworth was born in 1770 and he died in 1850. He was a great poet, theorist, and critic. He was the oldest and the greatest among the poets of the Romantic Revival. He was nurtured in the Lake District of London, of England. The teaching of Rousseau and his own experiences convinced him that man was naturally good and noble. In the French Revolution, William Wordsworth saw a great movement for human freedom. William Wordsworth advocated freedom, liberty, not only in poetry but also in life as well. Wordsworth's important works include The Prelude in 1850, Lyrical Ballads 1798, Michael is a story of Shepherd and his son, Tinternaway, and many others. Then William Wordsworth moved to sonnets. He composed many sonnets. One of them is composed upon West Minster Bridge. The line is Earth has not anything to show more fair. This is a beautiful sonnet in which the poet regrets that nature stands neglected and ignored due to industrialization of England. William Wordsworth wrote preface to lyrical ballads in which he defined poetry as poetry is the powerful feeling. Poetry is the overflow of powerful feeling collected in tranquility. William Wordsworth says that poetry is a thing of imagination. It is an expression of powerful feeling and emotions. In the preface to lyrical ballad, William Wordsworth gave a great contribution. William Wordsworth talked of a great thing. Earlier poetry was composed in a different language, different from the common man's language. William Wordsworth said that the language of poetry should be common. Poetry should be composed in a common man's language so that people may understand the feelings, the emotions of the poets easily without much effort. William Wordsworth wrote Immortality Ode, Ode to Duty, and many other poems. Then A.S.T. Coleridge contributed to the growth of romantic poetry. A.S.T. Coleridge was born in 1772 and he died in 1834. Coleridge was also fond of nature. Nature pleased him very much. There are some critics who say that Coleridge was always under the influence of opium and addict. But this is not a sound criticism. But yes, A.S.T. Coleridge consumed opium and drugs to relieve acute illness of his body. On his death, Charles Lamb wrote, "Never saw I his likeness, nor probably the world can see again." Hazlitt writes about A.S.T. Coleridge and says that Coleridge was the most impressive talker of his age. So far as the works of Coleridge are concerned, Coleridge also wrote many poems and criticism as well. His Biographia Literaria came in 1817. It is a landmark criticism. Then he wrote his Aids to Reflection. In his criticism, he said that imagination is the greatest faculty in human mind. He distinguishes fancy, understanding, fancy, and imagination. He says that fancy is the lower stage of imagination, while imagination is the highest stage of the faculty of human mind. He is of the view that fine poetry comes out of noble imagination, great imagination. S.T. Coleridge composed the rhyme of the ancient mariner, Kubla Khan, Christabel, and some other poems. But these three poems are very, very important. In the rhyme of the ancient mariner, S.T. Coleridge says that love is above everything. Love for lowly creatures is a human quality. Human beings must have love for lowly creatures. When they have love for lowly creatures, they will have happiness, they will have joy in life. But when they kill them, they spoil them, they will have trouble in their life. And this is what happens in the rhyme of the ancient mariner. The sailor goes on sailing over the sea so long as he does not kill the albatross. He enjoys his travel, he enjoys his sea journey. But when he kills albatross, the trouble starts. The poet writes in the poem, water, water everywhere, and all the boats did sing. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. This is the predicament that the sailor, along with his friends, faces on the boat. Then Sir Walter Scott also wrote many romantic poems. He was born in 1771 and he died in 1832. He wrote poems in which he described the Middle Ages. He is of the view that the Middle Ages were better than the modern age. He composed The Lay of the Last Minstrel and many other poems. Then Lord Byron composed romantic poetry. He was born in 1788 and he died in 1824. Lord Byron was Lord. He was a Lord of England. He was me Lord, proud, lionized, the Napoleon of the London drawing rooms. Byron was also a rebel against the society, against the prevailing society. Lord Byron wrote many poems. All his poems show his life at Harrow. He was born and brought up at Harrow in England, and this has influence upon him. He composed Don Juan, The Vision of Judgment in 1822. The Don Juan is a very powerful poem of Lord Byron. Then Baby Shelley appeared in 1792 and he died in 1822. P.B. Shelley was also a great rebel against the prevailing society. He composed The Revolt of Islam. Prometheus Unbound is a lyrical drama. Apart from these poems, Shelley composed many odes and lyrics. Ode to the West Wind is a prophetic poem of him. In this poem, he concludes with a prophetic note. If winter comes, can a spring be far behind? There is a rhetorical question at the end of the sentence. And then we have John Keats. John Keats was born in 1795 and he died in 1821. John Keats wrote The Eve of St. Agnes, Lamia, Isabel, Ode to Nightingale, Ode to Melancholy, Ode to a Grecian Urn, Ode on Indolence, Ode to Autumn, Hyperion, and others. John Keats was the most of all the John Keats was the most sensuous of all the romantic poets. We have all the 5 kinds of senses in his poem Lamia as well as the Eve of St. Agnes. To conclude, romantic poetry has tremendous importance in the history of English poetry. William Wordsworth, H.T. Coleridge, Lord Byron, Sir Walter Scott, P.B. Shelley, John Keats richly contributed romantic poetry. The lovers of English poetry, the readers of English poetry are still study romantic poetry with great interest, with great delight. Thanks.